Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. It's time to talk about Drag Race All Stars. Last night, I was pleasantly surprised and highly entertained. Last night was a good episode. I've been reading Rue, I've been reading you in these challenges on All Stars all season. Like, I do enjoy the variety show. But after that, I was like, what's going on here? I actually 85% agree with the judges this week. That's a shocker. It was a good episode. And let's just jump right into it because a lot of it is fluff. A lot of it was some good shade. Ooh, it was some good shade. Okay. Last week I didn't know who Juju voted for because like I said, I don't watch Untucked because I tried to watch Untucked this week and then I turned it off. It's just not entertaining to me. Juju voted for Mariah. Somebody in the comments said Juju voted for Shay, and I thought maybe that's why Juju threw that lip sync last week. But no, I'm going to stick to, because they showed a flashback, I'm going to stick to my original point of I don't even think Juju expected to win the challenge last week. She did not. She looked shocked when she won. And she probably was thinking like, oh shit, I won this and I ain't even learned the words. Because Juju did not learn the words. But moving on to this week. When they pulled them lipsticks out that box and Shay saw she got 2 votes, Shay was pissed. You could see the steam coming out of her ears. Shay was pissed. And she was like, who voted for me? And everybody was like, I voted for Mariah. I voted for Mariah. And here go Mayhem. Well, in the confessional, Mayhem gonna say some bullshit talking about, well, I thought since, Shay is such a powerhouse, everybody would want to get her out. I guess I got played. This backfired on me. And I'm like, Mayhem, that's bullshit. Because you all sit in that room, and I know you all discuss who should go and who should stay. And I know everybody wasn't saying Shay. So that was some bullshit, Mayhem. And then I said it was a good strategy, but I respect the truth. She gonna say, it's not personal, girl, but Mariah is my sister. And then here come Alexis, and she was like, well, I just want you to know that next vote was me. Alexis is a shady queen, and I love her. I've always loved Alexis Mateo. She hasn't been this shady in the past. Alexis used to just gather you. She used to just gather you because people would make fun of her accent and stuff, and she would gather you right together. But Alexis is being shady, and I still love her. But anyway, Alexis gave some more bullshit. She was like, well, I just voted for you, Shay, because, I couldn't vote for Mariah to go home because I thought she did good last week. Now, I thought Mariah did good, too. I'm shocked. I ain't gonna go back to last week. I miss you, Mariah. I know once they get down to that 5, they're gonna do some kind of challenge where the first 5 gonna come back. I hope you can win that challenge and get back into the race. I do. Because I like Mariah. But moving on, we ain't gonna go backwards. And I'm with Shay. No, that was Juju. I'm with Juju. Okay, y'all, Mariah, your sister, but India was sitting right there. Like, it wasn't just 2 lipsticks to choose from. India was sitting right there. And then India gave that look like, bitch, I know you didn't say they should have voted for me. I'm with you too. I was with you too, India. That look was everything. But that's honest. Like, India has been in the bottom every week except for the week she won. And I didn't think she should have won that week. Anyway, but that was bullshit. Just be honest. Shay is set up to win this season. I ain't saying it's set up as any rigor mortis. I ain't saying that. But I feel like when I looked at all the girls, like, I love so many girls this season. I really do. But Shay to me is the winner. I want to see Shay win. So just say that, be honest, and let's move on. And I like in the confessional, Shay said, okay, so y'all want to play games. All right, let's have some fun. I was like, yes, Shay, get their asses together. Know who the fuck is with the fuck shit and get their asses together. I'm ready for it. Now let's get into this challenge. This week it is SheMZ, and it's an improv challenge. And I said, you producers are shady. Off top, they put Shay and Alexis in a group together. I loved it. We gonna get there. Next is Blaire, Juju, and Cracker. Okay, Shay and Alexis's group was Fired Housewives. Blaire, Juju, and not Alexis, but Cracker were kind of a rip off of this college tuition scandal, but they're doing a drag race or drag you scandal. And then Mayhem and India are a thief and an employee. I got so much to say about Mayhem and India, but let's go. So, the best part of this improv to me was Shay and Alexis in the workroom. Them some shady whores. I mean that in the funniest way, not calling them whores, but y'all know that this drag race. But anyway, Alexis is going through the thing, and she talking about we typecast. This ain't even gonna be hard. This is typecast. And Alexis says, in the beginning, they got this. And if anybody goes home, bitch, it better be you. And then Shay quickly said, well, I already know I got your vote. And I was like, yes, Shay. Throw it back at her ass. Throw it back. And then Alexis, okay, they reading it. And she says, well, your character is Little Miss Perfect, a control freak, a little bit of rage, but you so fake. That's so close to real life. Shay. Alexis was shading Shay. And then Shay went like, and gave her that middle finger. I said, yes, Shay. Yes, Shay. The funniest part of their performance was this workroom. They could have just put that camera in the workroom and they could have won the challenge. They were hilarious. And a little side note, while we in the workroom, that striped shirt that Shay had on with the thumb hole, but it was like a blouse. I need that. I need that in a 3X. Let me know if they have it in a plus size. I will buy it. Shay, if you made it, make me one. I love that shirt. Anyway, the last little bit of funny thing I thought was funny is, what's her name? India used to shoplift in the past, and she said she used to get her first 3 dresses were mopped, and I've learned that from Pose that mopped is shoplift. I love it. I was just laughing because she was making fun of herself, and she was like, "This is right. I know how to shoplift." In India, that was funny. Okay, let's get into the challenge. In the TMZ studio, everyone looked a fool. Especially Blaire. She did look like Justin Bieber. The acting, the only one that was funny to me was Carson. What was he playing? Harvey. He was playing Harvey. He was funny. Everyone else in they boy drag, it was awful. Awful. Ross was the cameraman, the SheMZ cameraman. He was trying to toss the jokes to him. I feel like everyone did a good job. Some people's, you know, when you do an improv, they give you a little sheet, like a story outline, but not lines, but like an outline. Some people's outline of their skit was stupid, like really stupid. And I feel like anybody who would have got that skit, Mayhem, India, anybody who would have got that skit would have been in the bottom. But let's go through it real quick. Shay and Alexis did a good job. They were both improving. Shay was throwing her shade. She was playing her character. India was being team too much. That was her character. So I didn't really like how they critiqued, not India, but Alexis. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't like how they told Alexis she didn't play off of Shay, because I felt like Alexis was playing her role. Her role was the person who would do anything for the camera. And the camera was right there, so she was doing anything to be on SheMZ. So, um, the part of the story I didn't like is, okay, they both were pregnant by Black China's baby daddy. And I liked how that was left in the open. We didn't know which one. We didn't know if it was Tiger or Rob. So I like that. But because they could have been pregnant by one of each. So we don't know. But the whole pull the pillows out and have a pillow fight in the middle of the restaurant, it went left. But Alexis brought it back when she started stuffing the food down her shirt, talking about we ain't about to waste this food though. Alexis stole the scene. So I'm going to give it to her. She turned it. Shay was there. Shay did a good job. She did not deserve to be in the bottom or the top. She was safe. It is what it is. So next we go to Cracker, Blaire, and Juju. I loved all of it. Like, this was a perfect improv because everyone was giving. Everyone was doing yes and. Everyone was listening. It was levels. It did not start off rawr and just stay at that level. Like, it went down. Like when it was kind of ill. But when Cracker was all up in Juju's face and they were doing that whisper like lovers, I was drawn in. I was like, these bitches acting. Like, they were doing a good job. The best line of the improv is when Cracker told Juju, I know our friendship has been over more bumps than your foundation stick. I was ready to throw the remote at the TV. I started hollering. I said, this bitch Cracker is hilarious. That's one thing I won't take from Miss Cracker. When it comes to these acting challenges and improvs, she was robbed last season with that pickle thing. She was hilarious. Did she win? I thought they gave it to somebody else. And it wasn't even last season. But y'all know what I'm talking about. Correct me in the comments. But that was the best joke. But all three of them did a really, really, really good job. Like, it was good. And their storyline never went stupid. Like, I followed it from beginning to end. And I never rolled my eyes. But let's get to Mayhem in India. Because India came out like what's her name? Michelle said she looked like a shoplifter. She had her titties out. She had all them shopping bags. India was playing the part. I was here for India. Even when Mayhem first came on the scene, she wasn't overacting. Mayhem just looked the fool. That wig was a mess. That wand, the way she stuck it down her leg, made her look ill proportioned. And then she was doing that open leg walk, like that TikTok that people does. And I want to give it to you, Mayhem, but I think Drag Race just is not your show. I don't care how much of a dream it is for you. And I know you be turning it in LA. I know. And I've seen you on your Instagram. You be turning the looks. Why didn't you bring some of them with you? We'll get there. We'll get there. But the whole thing went south when they said, I'm a licker. And they start licking donuts and licking wands and shit. And the whole time I'm watching them lick shit, my mind is thinking of Cardi B saying, coronavirus. The whole time. I'm like, y'all licking this shit. And I know coronavirus wasn't during the taping, but when I see it now, whenever I see people licking stuff, I be thinking, coronavirus, coronavirus. Like, the shit is nasty to me. And then when they circled it back and India started dropping vases out of her pussy, I laughed. I said that was funny. But then they started licking the glass. And then I just was like, nasty. To me, anybody who would have got that I'm a licker set up and had to just start licking stuff, I felt like they would have been at the bottom because I just felt like that was stupid. And I don't think anybody, even Cracker, could have made that funny. I just thought it was too stupid. And I feel like every season someone gets set up with a bad outline or a bad script that's just stupid, and they be like, well, anybody could have made it funny. No, being a licker is not funny. But moving on. Moving on. Mayhem had a mirror moment, and I appreciated that Mayhem was honest because how they open it up, has anybody ever been on TMZ? And then Blaire opened up about her DUI, and then Mayhem opened up that she had 2 DUIs. She said both times she was arrested in drag, which I'm sure is hard because you know they're gonna throw you in with all the gentlemen and you dressed as a woman, and they humiliated her and they made her strip naked in front of all the men she was arrested with. And she said one of the police took a picture of her naked and laughed. I guess was showing everybody to laugh because I'm sure she probably still had on all her makeup and hair and everything. And I think that's so trash, to take advantage of someone. That's abuse. And that's what's the word I'm looking for? I'm sure you could have brought some charges up on him because that's an abuse of power. How dare you? You already have arrested her. How dare you? If you didn't make everybody strip naked and take pictures of everyone, I ain't gonna go there. To me, that was a very abusive thing to do for that police officer, and for Mayhem to share that story just to let people know, look, I even had to go to jail, and when I got out of jail, I didn't want to be this girl anymore, so I went and got help. I feel like when you share your story like that, if someone else is in that same position, especially like she said, I was a queen, everybody was in these clubs, I was making this money, and we was partying, and I wanted to be involved in the party. I feel like she's going to help people who may be feeling that same way. Like, look, you don't have to be involved in the party to have fun. Or if you are and you feel like you can't get out, go get some help so you don't have to go through what I went through. I appreciated that moment. I know I read Mayhem for her competition, but I do like Mayhem. I do like Mayhem. But let's get on. Let's get on. The runway was camo glam. Ru called it something else, but it wasn't nothing but wear your best camo looks. Ru, your dress this week, it's like when I look at it, I'm like, oh, I love it. Because it's like a sports theme mixed with black leather or latex, whatever that is. But it's something about it I just want to rip away. I think it's the puffy sleeve. That one, because I like how the sleeve came down to like the cuff part was like a Letterman's jacket, and I love all the sports logos, and then that one strip of black leather. The hair and the makeup was beat. The hair and the makeup, it was it this week, Ru. But I think it was just that puffy sleeve because I wanted to be like, ooh, I love it, but something I just was like, take one thing away. But off of Ru, let's get into these looks. Juju came out giving me more Troop Beverly Hills. It wasn't an exact like Gigi did last season, but it read Troop Beverly Hills to me, and it looked good. I gave Gigi a yes, ma'am. Next, we gonna move over to Cracker. I said, Cracker, yes, ma'am. You look just like a pop star. You look like a blonde Ariana Grande. That makeup was beat. That hair was everything. Yes, ma'am, to Cracker. Blaire came out looking absolutely gorgeous. Like butterflies, fairies in a forest. I loved it, Blaire. The hair, the makeup, that makeup Blaire did with that sketched on butterfly around everything, the hair, everything, the outfit, everything. But it wasn't a challenge. You get a yes, ma'am, but that wasn't camo to me. But I'm gonna move on. Shay was giving me camo on a Paris runway. That little flirt skirt with that head wrap and those shades. Yes, ma'am, Shay. You. And then she said those were latex leggings. I said, yes, ma'am, Shay. Give them some latex too. Throw it all on the outfit. I loved it. I loved it. Alexis, I said, this is not the Winter Wonderland challenge. I did not see camo anywhere. I know you had a little bit of sticks and leaves on that white, but I said, no, ma'am. I said, this looks like Heidi's look from the Winter Wonderland ball last season, and Heidi did it better. I ain't like it, Alexis, and I could see that brown. Like, you didn't paint white all the way up into your hairline. I could see the line from your wig to your skin. But that was just a no, ma'am. I ain't like it. But anyway, Mayhem, it was just a swimming suit, but it was a bad swimming suit. I agree with the judges. That color on your skin, amazing. I love all the shades of pink with that splash of green camo. It looked good, but I wrote in my notes, this is All Stars. And in All Stars, we need more than swimming suits and boots. You got to give me more. Because this is not your first rodeo. This is not your first time in the game. We need more than swimming suits and boots. You gave us a swimming suit and a boot when you first walked in the room. And I know you can turn looks, Mayhem. But moving on, India. I wrote India's name in all caps. India gets a yes ma'am off top. India looks like Gaga when Gaga was doing Bowie. India gave me a look. I guess I love it so much because it was so different from everything she showed before, but it was still so excellent. Like the hair and the makeup, yes. That camo kimono with all that black latex and leather was a yes. Like, you almost team too much, India, but I love team too much, so you looked good. Okay, so the judges, let's get on through it. Cracker wins. Mayhem and India are in the bottom. I agree with Cracker winning. I thought she gave the best jokes of the performance in the improv. But between Cracker and Juju, either one of them could have won, and I would have agreed with it. But Juju was in the top. I agree with that. For some reason, Alexis was in the top looking like that. I feel like if Cracker and Juju was in the top, go ahead and put Blaire up there too, because that whole group did a good job. Alexis turned the challenge, but for that outfit, she would have just had to be safe with Shay. Anyway, and then Blaire and not Blaire, but what's their names? Mayhem and India deserve to be in the bottom. All right, so now we got to go back. Oh, and I did right. For some reason, Michelle told Mayhem that she felt like she had an attitude. And I said, I don't think Mayhem has an attitude. I just think that Mayhem has a false sense of confidence because you all have been telling her she's been doing this great job when she hasn't. And that's all I'm going to say about it, period. Okay, so they going in the back to deliberate. You know how they do. And for whatever reason, y'all get in the comments and tell me, why did Mayhem say the only person she don't want to explain herself to or plead her case to is Cracker? Because I don't recall what Cracker did to Mayhem or Mayhem did to Cracker. But I'm going to let it go. And then Shades, did she say it in the confessional or did she say it to India? I don't know. But she said India is going to bottom her way to the top. And I wanted to throw the remote at the TV again. I ain't mad at India. Like, to me, India has been in the bottom for sometimes only because everyone else did so good, but she didn't do that bad. Let's move on. The lip sync assassin is Morgan McMichaels, and I was like, okay. I'm ready to see Brooklyn. I would have put Cameron Michaels over Morgan McMichaels, but hey, it is what It is what it is. The whole time, we all know Morgan and Mayhem are like this, all the fingers crossed. That's her best friend. Morgan and Mayhem are booked in LA. They're the girls you want to see when you want to get in the clubs. All right. I've heard it all before. The entire time Morgan was on that stage, she looked like Mayhem is getting ready to go home. Like, you can just tell she knew Mayhem's lipstick was in her breast. The entire time. Like, she couldn't even hardly look at Mayhem. And I'm like, okay, if Morgan wins, Mayhem's going home. Because I really didn't know the vote. Like, because they were saying, like, oh, India has been in the bottom all these weeks in a row. And I'm like, India did not do bad this challenge. Don't send her home. But, I didn't really know what the group... I really didn't know who, because Morgan had the group. I didn't know who won, who Cracker chose, but let's just move on. They lip synced to Riri. Where have you been? Like, I like that song. Y'all know I can't sing, but that's my song. It was, to me, it was an equal lip sync, because that's a good lip sync song, but it was too many dance breaks. Like, because you know that song drops the beat. We're going, dun, 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 dun. I can't tell the beat either. But y'all know the song. It drops the beat. It was too many dance breaks. And to me, Morgan was performing the lip sync. Cracker took me over to Legendary, and she was giving me ballroom. She was giving me hands. She was giving me the duck walk. She was doing backflips in heels, splits, what they call them, dips. Cracker took me to the ball. And so it kind of just depended on what the judges were looking for. But the one thing I am going to say to Ru is you need to get some decisiveness to you. I'm sick of these ties. I'm sick of these ties. If it ain't on the regular season where two people turned it and it's a double save, I'm sick of these ties. Both of them can't win. Now, either you going with Morgan or you going with Cracker. I agree. That was a hard lip sync to judge because it all depends on what you were looking for. I personally... I ain't gonna... I take it back. I don't know who to pick either because I enjoy both performances equally. No one really turned it to be like, oh, Cracker wasn't giving. Because at first it seemed like Cracker was getting ready to go into one of them crazy character style lip syncs where she was going to do a cringy witch or something. And I was like, Cracker, don't do it. Cracker, don't do it. Rihanna, don't do it. And she didn't. She started duck walking and stuff. And I was like, yes. But Morgan was twirling that cape, and I was like, Morgan was giving me facials, and she was giving me Riri. So I don't know. Anyway, it was a tie. Cracker got the $20,000, and both of them had Mayhem's lipstick, and Mayhem went home. That's all I really have to give. That was the episode, and I don't want to shade Mayhem. I ain't gonna shade Mayhem. She went home, and next week is Snatch Game. And you know, that's what I'm waiting for. And in the previews, they talking about, oh, this was the best Snatch Game ever. And I'm like, they say that every season. But I love Snatch Game. I'm looking forward to what Shay does. I'm looking forward to the one, to me, the one to beat is Cracker. Because she is the comedian. She is the improver. Like, the one to beat next week is Cracker. So I can't wait to see what she does. Anyway, get in the comments. Let me know what you all thought about this episode. How y'all feel about Mayhem going home. And, you know, everything. Alexis. Let me know what y'all think about Alexis being so shady. I love it. I love it. Anyway, go ahead and hit subscribe. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff. And I will see you all next week for the Snatch Game of Love. Bye.